Michael Bisping.
Hello.
Well, hello, my friend. It's Jim Norton again and your pal Louis J. Gomez.
Hey.
How are you?
How are you guys? Hey, I'm very, very well. I'm on a train, so if you lose me, I do apologize. I'm rolling through the beautiful British countryside, as I say, on a train, so if I do lose reception, my apologies.
I saw pictures of you. Are there children running away from you from car to car thinking that Frankenstein is attacking the train?
Yeah, absolutely, something like that, because I'm actually just looking at a newspaper, and I'm in the newspaper here, and every time somebody walks past, I say to them, it's okay, I'm a professional, and then I point to the article in the newspaper, because everybody's looking at me like some kind of goddamn psychopath.
I thought they were actually, I was like, are they going to stop this fight after the first round? I don't know if I've ever seen a swelling the way you had under your eye after that first round. How hurt were you in the first?
You know, to be honest, I was totally fine. I mean, obviously, you know, it sounds like, you know, I'm full of bravado saying that, but my faculties were with me at all times, because I remember everything about the fight. A lot of fights, actually, you don't really know what happened. I know exactly what happened. So he dropped me, obviously good and proper, and he did a great job of following up in that first round. He got a couple of big elbows, which opened up the big cut, and that's what did my eye. But as I say, you know, I mean, I was, you know, I knew I had to get back to my feet, and he was doing a good job of ground and pounding, but I was totally with it, and yeah, I mean, I might get back to my feet. I mean, the thing is, you know, I dominated that fight. You know, I mean, he had a couple of big moments, but realistically, he won 2 minutes of a 25-minute fight. You know, other than that, I feel like I was in control of the fight for the most part. I was stalking him down, I was controlling the octagon, I was being the aggressor, I was outstriking him. You know, but he had a couple of good moments, so God bless him.
So in between rounds, you came out in the second, and it was still pretty swollen. They didn't they didn't press it or put that what do they do when they want to press down?
Yeah.
Is there a reason they didn't do that?
You know, I have no idea. That's a good point. I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess you'd have to ask the cutman about that. But I mean, he filled it full of Vaseline, and I think that was his main concern, really. I mean, I don't know, to be honest, if one of those cold press things would have helped, to be honest, because it was just that swollen. It was kind of ridiculous. But, yeah, I mean, as I say, you know, I mean, God bless Dan. You know, he landed a couple of good shots there in the first and second. But, as I say, I have my faculties with me at all points. And, you know, nice to turn the tide.
So at one point, how badly was your vision? You had surgery to repair a detached retina. How bad was the vision by the second round?
Yeah, no. I mean, as I say, it was swollen, but I could still see. You know, I mean, it was definitely, restricted, but I was fine. I could see. You know, so I mean, it was, you know, nice and swollen, but I could still see Dan Henderson there fully, which is a good job. You need to see when you're fighting. So,
and we just talked to Forrest Griffin, by the way. Forrest wanted to ask you. You don't. Forrest wanted us to say.
Well, hold on. You got to say it in the same condescending, cunty tone that Forrest Griffin said it.
I don't want to say it like that.
No, you got to say it. You promised Forrest that you would say it the same way.
You don't open with a left hook to a guy who throws a big right. That was Forrest. He just said that with that tone. I didn't care for it, Michael.
The same fucking lumbering buffoon that got knocked out with a jab against Anderson Silva. Shut the fuck up. Take a back seat and disappear. Fucking arsehole. It's called mixing it up, my friend. It's called mixing it up. What's he know, the fucking goofball?
That was quite a harsh response.
he also said that he really loves and respects you.
Yeah, he did. He really did say that he respects you and he thinks you're great.
We're starting a war.
Likewise, if I was a cool guy, but if he's gonna fucking critique, I'm gonna respond.
Was there a reason though? I mean, because I did notice you throwing the lead left hook.
Oh boy, I don't know. You still gonna ask that question after his response?
Well, no, hold on. I will say, because the commentators were saying Dan Henderson was covering up his right side a lot. Like he had his arm glued to his face. Was it part of the plan to attack that side of his chin? Were you that specific, or you just look for any opening really?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you know, generally I use the jab a lot, and I had some very successful jabs in there. But you can't be too predictable. That's what I'm saying. You know, sometimes you can open with a left hook. Of course, people can fucking counter. You know what I mean? Everyone's got a counter to a counter to a counter to a counter. I mean, what would he prefer that I led with? There's a counter. Whatever he might have suggested, there's a counter to that. You know, so you've got to mix it up. You've got to keep your opponents guessing. So, of course, the jab is always a good one to start with. But don't be overly predictable. You know, if you can land a good left hook, you can land a good left hook. You know, I was planning on using the left high kick a lot, which I did. I had a lot of good success with that because, you know, I know he has his hand through his chin. Now, if you're using the head kick, either he blocks with the arm, which means he can't throw the right hand, or he eats a head kick in the face. You know what I'm saying? So the head kick was a good strategy. That's what I was thinking. He's either going to block it or he's going to get kicked in the head. And if he's blocking it, he's not throwing the right hand. You know, so that was the thought.
Yeah, that's a good point, too, about not seeing, like, the idea of surprise. Like, when Ali fought Foreman, he threw all those right-hand leads, and they said he probably did it just because Foreman would not be expecting him to do that. And that might be the last thing Henderson expects you to throw in the beginning of the fight. So, yeah, I hadn't considered that either.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's it. I mean, you've got to keep him guessing. That's why I was, you know, a lot of head movement, a lot of feints, a lot of footwork. You know, you got to try and keep them guessing. You can't be overly predictable.
Yeah. Also, a lot of different techniques with your kicks. I noticed a lot of like unique type karate style kicks. Was that something that you were just specifically doing to keep them guessing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was just trying to keep it in guessing. You know, what I mean, using that bit of footwork I was doing and whatnot. I was nice and confident. I was in my groove. I felt great. I mean, I know I had those couple of scary moments. But as I say, other than that, I felt really good in there, you know, and I still felt in control of the fight. As I say, you know, he did have those big moments, and as I say, God bless him, well done. You know, he's a tough son of a bitch. Dan Henderson really is as tough as old boots. He's as tough as they come. But as I say, I felt great. I felt really good. As I say, I was stalking him down. I was being the aggressor. I was winning the fight, but I just allowed him to get off with two big shots, which, you know, he capitalized and fucking made a right mess of my face.
And what about the decision? You know, because you know we were watching it over at SiriusXM. Obviously, everyone's team Bisping, you know, rooting for you, and it was very tense because you know we scored the fight for you, and I agree with the decision. You know, there a lot of people after every decision. There seems to be a ton of people that call controversy. But before they announced you, was there any part of you that was like, shit, maybe they might give him this decision?
Well, I mean, to be honest, I was confident I got the decision. I mean, as I said before, let's be honest. He had two big moments in the fight. Other than that, it was plain sailing. I controlled the entire fight, apart from, you know, at the end of the first round, and I think it was towards the end of the second round. You know, he had a couple of big moments. Other than that, I dominated the fight. I mean, one judge gave 49-46. I was confident I got the decision, but even still, when it goes to the judges like that, you never know. So as I say, I was expecting to get the decision, but it's always a tense situation when he was saying, and I'm thinking, come on, Bruce, get off of it, get off of it, don't tease me. Just fucking say, still or new, which one is it? I was confident, but, you know, there's always a little bit of nerves there.
And did you think in the second round, he looked like he was breathing with his mouth open, and I'm wondering, did he kind of gas himself a little bit at the end of that first, dropping those elbows?
Yeah, look, listen, I mean, Dan Henderson, we know he's an old veteran. And he faked that nut shot. I'm not sure what round it was, 4 or 5. And it took like 5 minutes off. I mean, that guy deserves an Oscar. It's now 4, yeah. He deserves an Oscar because that was bullshit. Because I did not kick him in the balls at all. And he milled that. That guy was fucking gassed. He was too tired. And he just sat there and he had a breather. That's why I gave him a bow. Because fucking hell, the guy deserves an Emmy or something like that. Because that was quite the performance.
Now, did you attend the press conference?
No, I didn't. No, what did I do? There wasn't a press conference apparently, so there wasn't. You know, because it was so late. It was 6 in the morning, so there wasn't a press conference per se like there is at normal events. I got stitched up by the doctor. That took a while, and then the UFC pissed me off. They insisted that I had to go for a facial scan just to make sure I didn't have like a fractured cheekbone or anything like that. So that was all good, no problems there. So, but as I said, there wasn't an actual press conference today.
Now, who do you want to fight next? I mean, you have to have some sort of a preference. I mean, there's so many good guys, but I mean, you know, for fan interest and for the money, who do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if that fucking that whiner, if that crybaby, if Wyman wants to do it, then I'm more than happy. If he gets past Yoel Romero next month, let's do it, son. And I'm happy. He thinks I'm ducking him. He's fucking crazy. I've never ducked anyone in my life. I'm certainly not going to start with that fucking douchebag. So. You know, if he wants to do it, he can come out here and he can try and wrestle me to death, but he'll fucking find himself getting punched in the face repeatedly. And, you know, Dan Henderson's a tough bastard, but I'll finish this fight, that's for sure.
Why do you think he's a whiner? I mean, he's a pretty tough guy. What makes you say that?
He doesn't stop complaining, does he? Fucking feels everyone owes him something. Fucking preaches on about God and this and that. Just shut the fuck up. He's not part of God's plan. If there is a God, he's got bigger fish to fry than worrying about fucking Chris Weidman fucking fighting.
Now, Weidman was one of the guys that afterwards tweeted out, and I wish I had his tweet in front of me, so I do apologize if I have this wrong, but he tweeted something along the lines of, I do not like that decision. And there was a handful of fighters as well as fans that were complaining about the decision.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, they can all kiss my ass. I mean, of course, Wyman's going to say that because, he can't be objective because his perspective is completely skewed because he doesn't like me because he's a competitor. Now, of course, there's other Dan Henderson fans out there, and they're absolutely crazy. They're not professional judges. They're fans of Dan Henderson. They're not fans of me. So that's skewing their vision, if you will. They're not looking at it through rose-tinted spectacles. That's for sure. They're looking at it as the opposite. If they want Dan to win, they want me to lose. So that's why they see it that way. But the impartial judges that have paid the professionals that do it, they all saw the fight for me. It wasn't a split decision. It was a unanimous decision. 49-46. And as I say, he landed 2 good fucking punches in a 25-minute fight. That's it. Other than that, he was on his back foot. He was fucking backing off the whole time. He had some good moments, as I say, but they were too little. You don't win a 25-minute fight by landing 2 good shots.
Now, Chris had told me before the show, I guess they're changing some of the rules for
January, I think.
Yeah, in January. And one of the things that they're going to start judging, one of the criteria they're going to start judging based off of is striking impact, meaning damage in a fight, which is something that they haven't really judged until this point. Obviously looking at both of you guys after the fight, you looked the worst for wear. How do you feel about that change? And because I think there's a handful of complications that come with that.
Yeah, well, I mean that's all well and good, and I think it's a very, very good idea. I mean, as I say, you can't deny the impact. There was fucking they did some damage. He landed 2 good big right hands, and one of them he followed up with a really nasty elbow. That's what did my cheeky was one fucking elbow. It's not like he spent 25 minutes doing that spin. There was one elbow that did my eye, and 2 punches that put me down. That was it. Now, other than that, I outboxed him the whole fucking time. So, yeah, great, good, bring that in. Even still on that criteria, I still won the fucking fight. He landed 2 good shots. As I say, you don't win a 25-minute fight by landing 2 or 3 good shots.
Yeah, when you're fighting, I thought of you when he knocked you down in the first round. Because obviously you're avoiding the right with Henderson. That's the giant threat is the right. He knocked you out with the right. And then he hits you with it, knocks you down. Is your party going, motherfucker? This is exactly what I didn't want.
Yeah, no, of course. I don't know if you're aware of this, but nobody wants to get fucking punched in the face anytime you fight. Whether or not you're fighting Dan Henderson, you don't want anyone to land the right hand on you. So yeah, of course, it's never good. It's in the face, big spot. I didn't want to get kicked in the face, get kicked in the leg. Anytime you absorb a strike of anything, motherfucker, so, that's, with the greatest of respect, Jim, a stupid fucking question.
Yeah. Well, it probably is. Yeah, fair enough. I was just...
You mean, did I think shit when he hit me in the face and dropped me? Hold on, let me think about that. Yeah, I didn't like that one.
Well, I should probably have rephrased it. That was actually, Lewis wanted to ask you, but he was embarrassed, so I said I would.
No, it was Forrest Griffin. We asked it the same way Forrest would have asked.
No, you know what the reason I said that is just only because it's like when a guy hits you and you get knocked down, it's awful. But like when it's the one thing that you have to, you know what I mean? That's like, fuck. It's like, if Nelson hits you with an overhand right.
Yeah, but that's his main weapon, and he's built an entire fucking career on that. So you can try to avoid it all you want, but that's what he does. Very well. He's been very effective with it. He's knocked out Shogun, he's knocked out Lombard. The list goes on and on and on. Vanderlei Silva, the great out with that right hand. He's fucking good with it. You know what I mean? But he didn't knock me out, did he? I got back to my feet. I carried on fighting. I whooped his ass, and I fucking took the belt home with me.
Now, it's kind of funny because the story of your career now, it's literally like a movie. It's nuts. It doesn't seem like there's any easy fights for you. Now, you finally won the title. The Rockhold fight was easy, but even so, the story there was you came back from adversity because he had beaten you in the fight before. There's really nothing easy, in the future. I know you talked recently about possibly retiring. How many more fights do you see you having in you before you retire?
I've got no idea, but I don't want to do this, I don't want to be doing this into my 40s, that's for sure. So, maybe a handful, who knows? Honestly, I don't have the answer to that question.